So we're doing special products, and I'm going to let that sit there for a second, but I don't actually want to go over it. I want to do this problem, and I want you to see what is happening. So remember that if it's a square, we need to write it out 2 times. Now, whether you FOIL or you do the box method, I don't care. So we've got x squared because we multiplied our first. We've got 6x because we multiplied our outers. Our inners, again, is 6x. And our last, we get 36. Now I'm going to leave it like that for a minute, and we're going to come back to that. I want you to look at it and see what you notice. Then we're going to come over to this one. 3g plus 10h, 3g plus 10h. So when I multiply these, I get 9g squared plus, and then I multiply these two, and I get 30gh, alphabetical order. And here I get 30gh. And last but not least, I get 100h squared. Sorry about that. Okay. Now compare what you see on these two. Do you know? Oops, I forgot the squared. Sorry. What do you notice? Hopefully you notice that these two middle terms, they're exactly the same. So I have 2 6x's here, and I have 2 30gh's here. The middle term is that. The other thing I want you to notice is this is squared and this is squared. Or they're perfect squares. So this right here is a perfect square. This right here is a perfect square. So what it's saying to do up here is when you have something that looks like this, when you have something that looks like this, you rewrite it in 2 terms. The first is a perfect square. The last is a perfect square. And what the middle is we have a 2 automatically, and then we multiply these 2 terms together. That's what it's saying. Okay? So again, when we have this is a perfect square. It's the first term squared. And then we have, oops, I didn't want to do that. Then we have the second term squared. Oh, I should have done that in purple, because I did it in purple up above so that you can see. Those are perfect squares. And then in the middle, I take 2 and I multiply them together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this term right here. I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to take, maybe not that color, this term right here, and I'm going to put it right here. Then in the middle, I'm going to take the first term and I'm going to multiply it by the second term. So when I get this, it's 4x squared plus 36x plus 81. Now, could I have multiplied it out? Sure. No, I should be doing this different color. 81. Let's do this. So 2x plus 9 times 2x plus 9. If I was to do it the other way, I would get 4x squared. This, nope, this right there, I would get 18x. Here I would get 18x. Here I would get 81. So I have this perfect square, I have this perfect square, and in the middle I have two 18x's, which gets me 4x squared plus 36x plus 81, which is what was right there. Okay, so we're going to do it again. This time I'm going to do it FOIL way first. Oops, why did I do that? So if I do here, I get 36m squared. I do right here, I get 66mn. Here I get 66mn. And here I get 121n squared. Okay, again, I have 36m squared plus I have two 66mn's, and I have a 121n squared. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write it as 6m plus 11n squared, and I'm going to set it up. So I have here my first term squared. I have here my last term squared. And in the middle, I have 2 times. So I put 6m here, 6m times right here, and then I forgot what color I had used. Maybe I'll use this one. I put 11 in here and an 11 in here. So what do I get? I get 36m squared. Now I'm not going to actually multiply it. I'm going to leave it like this for just a second. Is that the exact same thing I have up above? If I look, this and this are exactly the same. So you can do it either way, it doesn't matter. And so your answer is going to be 36m squared plus, that's a 2, 132 mn plus 121, oops, that should be an n squared. Okay. So we have here the surface area of a cube is A equals 6 sides squared, where 6s squared, I don't know why that was weird, where s is the length of one side. The surface area of a cube is this. So we're going to do area equals 6, and the s is going to be replaced with this. And remember, we do exponents first. So I'm not going to worry about this part yet. This part's going to stay as is. Okay. So I'm going to do this. Oops. Yeah, well, I'll do that. I'm going to take the first one. I'm going to square it. I'm going to take the last one. I'm going to square it. Plus 2 times, then multiplied together. So 3n, 6. So if I was to multiply this out, I'm going to put it off to the side over here. A equals 6 times. So that's going to be 9n squared plus, that's going to be what? 36n? Is that right? That would be 18 times 2, yep. Plus 36. And then I need to multiply it by that 6. So that's going to be 54n squared plus 6 times 6 is 36. That's 18 to 16n plus 36. Oh, I just did that 216. Is that really like that? I guess so. And there we go. Okay, so this next one. This time, it's the difference. So, I do the exact same thing. I'm going to multiply it out first. Let me multiply it out. 7d minus 2f. 7d minus 2f. And if I do this, I get 49. Oops, what happened to the 9? 49d squared. Then I do this. Negative 14 df. And here, negative 14 df. And here, plus 4f squared. So if I look at this, I've got 49d squared. I have two of these. I should have been doing this in different colors, but that's okay. So plus 2 times negative 14 df, and then plus 4f squared. So if I had done it the other way, and I had 7d minus 2f all squared, I take the first one, I square it, plus, and plus the second one, or the last one, and square it. And in the middle, I have 2 times those multiplied together. So I would take the first term, which is 7d, and put it in its spots. And then I take the second term, which is negative 2f, and I multiply it out. I did not leave myself a lot of room. So I'm going to do 49d squared plus 2 times negative 14df plus 4f squared. And if you look at it, this right here is the same thing as that right there. So again, you can do it either way. My ending answer, let's see, I'm going to have to write it over here, is going to be 49 d squared minus 28 df plus 4f squared. Okay, so let's do this one. And this one has tons of space. So if I started with 4k minus 1 times 4k minus 1, and I did this, I would get 16k squared, and this negative 4k, and this negative 4k, and this I would get plus 1. So I have 16k squared, then I have plus 2, and then I have negative 4k, and then I have plus 1. So let's do it the other way. I have 4k minus 1 all squared. I take the first term and I square it. I take the last term and I square it. Plus 2, parentheses, and they're multiplied together. So I take the 4k here, and I take the negative 1 there, multiply that out. So that's 16k squared plus 2 times the quantity, negative 4k, plus 1. And let's look at it. This right here, does it look just like that? It does. So that means our answer is 16k squared minus 8k plus 1. Okay. Now this is something different. This is what is called the product of sum and difference. So if I look at this, do you notice they're exactly the same, except for one has a plus and one has a minus? Now, we've always called this the difference of two squares, but This book calls it something else. So I multiply these two together and I get z squared. I multiply these together, I get negative 5z. Multiply these together, I get 5z. I multiply these together, I get negative 25. Combine like terms, and I get z squared minus 25. Oh, look at that. The middle terms cancel each other out. So let's do this one. I take these two, and I get 9y to the 6th. Sorry, that was weird. My pen did weird saying. 12y to the 3rd plus 12y to the 3rd, and these two, negative 16. Let's look at this. In the middle, they disappear. So I've got 9y to the 6th minus 16. So the first one squared, the last one squared, and they have a minus sign in between. Let's look at here. Without even doing the problem, what did we just say? We said the first one is squared, the last one is squared, and there's a minus sign in between. So I'm going to take the first one, that's 2x, take the second one, that's 9y squared. So I would get 4x squared minus 81y to the 4th. Now, let's try it FOIL method. If I go here, I get 4x squared. If I go here, I get negative 18y, I like alphabetical, xy. I go here, I get plus 18xy. And last but certainly not least, I get plus 8. Oh, I do not get plus. I get minus 81y to the 4th. So I combine like terms. These right here cancel out. 4x squared minus 81y to the 4th. So, again, they're exactly the same. Now, you can do a FOIL method or you can do the shortcut. And last but not least, I'll even do the FOIL method first for you. And I get x squared minus 9xy plus 9xy. And last but not least, I did that weird this time, minus 81y squared. The middles cancel out, and I have that. But if I was to rewrite this as x plus y, x minus 9y, and I would just do the shortcut, the first one squared, the last one squared, and they have a minus sign in between. So, I have x, I have 9y, and that would give me x squared minus 81y squared. And again, I didn't mean for it to be that color. One more time. These are exactly the same, whichever way you decide to do it.